The bear came out of the fog like a ghost, its soaked fur clinging to its frame, eyes fixed on the boat. It wasn't drifting or growling. It swam straight for them with purpose, as if carrying a message. Elias gripped the railing, torn between awe and alarm. Polar bears didn't act this way. They hunted, they wandered, but this one seemed to be signaling, almost pleading. Then, with a low, muffled growl, it turned and swam east, pausing to look back as if urging them to follow. Elias knew in his gut, whatever they found, it wouldn't be simple. Elias Berg didn't trust calm water, not this far north, not this late in the season. On the deck of the Odin's Mercy, he scanned the mist curling over the ice. At 47, with nearly 3 decades at sea, little scared him, but today felt wrong. The silence, the stillness, the shifting light unsettled him. Above, Captain Henrik Foss, older and broad-shouldered, hummed tunelessly while tapping coordinates. Henrik had seen capsized hulls, snapped winches, and engine fires. Nothing seemed to shake him. Together, the two made up the entire crew of the Odin's Mercy. They had pushed north for late-season cod, chasing a promising migration. Reports warned of a storm curling in from the Barents Sea. 36 hours, maybe less, before it hit. They would fish, load, and run. That was the plan. Elias raised his binoculars and froze. "Henrik," he called. Something was swimming toward them. Not a seal too big, a polar bear. And it was coming straight. They stood at the railing as the bear reached the hull and reared up, water streaming off its fur. It pressed a paw against the steel and stared not with menace, but intent. Then it slapped the water sharply, again and again, turning its head toward the ice. "Henrik," Elias whispered. "She wants us to follow." Henrik didn't hesitate. "Then we follow." The engine rumbled to life as Henrik steered the boat east, weaving through tightening corridors of ice. Elias radioed home station, reporting the strange behavior. The reply came cautious. "Be careful, that storm's accelerating." The bear stayed close, swimming with steady strokes, pausing to glance back, releasing low, breathy chuffs like signals. Elias climbed into the wheelhouse. "We should turn back. Let home send a research team. We're not equipped for this." Henrik's knuckles whitened on the wheel. "Look at her. She's not lost. She's showing us something." Elias cursed under his breath, but said no more. The sky darkened, bruised clouds spreading across the horizon. Snow began to fall in dry, sharp flakes. Suddenly the bear stopped, circling a ridge of broken ice. Her movements grew frantic. She climbed onto a jagged slab and let out a deep, echoing wail that cut through the wind. "There," Elias said, pointing. Between 2 ridges, something moved. Tiny, furred. A cub, wedged into a crevasse, one leg bent wrong, mouth opening silently. It was trapped, barely alive. Henrik killed the engine. "We've got 10 minutes before this storm buries us." Elias grabbed the binoculars, heart racing. "Then it has to be now." The skiff splashed into the water. Henrik tossed down rope, blanket, cutters. Elias climbed last, boots slipping on the rope ladder. Ahead, the mother bear stood guard over the cub, watching, waiting. They edged the skiff forward through the ice until it bumped a slab. Elias and Henrik stepped carefully onto the ridge. The bear growled low, claws clicking, but didn't advance. The cub whimpered weakly, blood streaking the ice. "Caught in a collapse," Elias whispered. Henrik unrolled the blanket. "Rope through the back." "Lift on my mark." Elias eased the rope behind the cub. At its cry, the mother stepped forward, breath steaming, but stopped when Henrik raised his hands. "Easy, girl. We're helping." The storm cracked above them, thunder rolling closer. Ice beneath their boots creaked and shifted. "Now," Elias hissed. Henrik pulled. Elias lifted, muscles straining. With a crack, the cub came free, crying sharply. They wrapped it in the blanket and hoisted it together. The mother growled, deep and guttural, but didn't charge. Step by step, they backed toward the skiff, never turning their backs. She shadowed them along the ridge, eyes locked. Elias slid into the skiff, clutching the cub. Henrik followed, yanking the motor cord. The bear stood at the ridge's edge, silent but watching, as the skiff peeled into the storm. Then one haunting sound echoed behind them, carrying through the mist. The sea erupted. Ice slammed against the skiff, nearly tipping it. Henrik fought the motor, muttering, "Come on!" At last it roared to life, and they lurched forward through the chaos. Waves crashed, snow-blinded, until the looming shadow of the Odin's Mercy appeared. But ice had closed around it, trapping the trawler. Henrik forced the skiff forward, bouncing against floes. They crashed into the hull. Elias tied off and scrambled up the rope ladder, Cub slung across his back. Henrik followed, drenched and shivering. "Get us out now!" Hours later, through thinning ice, the coastline appeared. A team waited at the dock when they arrived. Elias passed the cub to them with shaking hands. "She's fading, please!" The techs hurried it inside, while Elias and Henrik stood dripping, silent, watching. An hour passed before a woman in a red parka emerged. Dr. Lene Dagsvik of the Arctic Wildlife Unit. "You brought us a miracle," she said. Elias jumped to his feet. "Is she?" "Dehydrated, cold shock, bruised leg but no fracture. She'll make it." Relief crashed over them both. "We'll keep her a few days," Dr. Dagsvik continued. "Once stable, we'll track and return her to the ridge sector. If the mother's still there, we'll reunite them." Henrik shook his head softly. "No, we didn't find her. She found us." That night Elias sat on the bow, sleepless, staring at the calm bay. The storm had passed, but the weight of it lingered. By morning, Dr. Dagsvik returned. "We sent a drone over the ridge," she said. On the monitor, snow and jagged ice filled the screen, then the unmistakable form of the mother bear. She sat waiting. Moments later, the cub appeared, unsteady but alive. The mother rose, eyes fixed on her offspring. The video cut out just before they touched. "That's all we captured," the doctor said. Elias nodded slowly. "That's good enough for me."